Well, that was a bit weird. Music was playing twice there, wasn't it? Anyway, sorry for that. Hopefully that wasn't too distracting for you. Welcome along to this masterclass, how managing energy is more important than time. Strange thing going on here. Very strange stuff going on here. No, that's what's going on. Right, that's sorted. I hear myself in the background. Anyway, technical sorted. Now, welcome along. If you are joining this, if you're watching it on replay, then feel free to leave any comments in wherever you're watching this. And we are going to explore why managing energy is more important than time when it comes to high performance. I think a lot of people spend a lot of time worried about managing their time and neglecting actually where they get their energy from. I'm going to talk about motivation because the link with motivation and energy is key to the work I do. And with that in mind, I think the first thing we should do is just look at really what motivation is. So let's start there. So, what is motivation? Well, motivation, the actual word, is broken into two words, and those two words are motive, motive being reason, the meaning being reason, and the second part of motivation is action. So action is what we do. So when we think about motivation, simply all we think about is it's a reason to do something. And when we have a reason, then we're more likely to do it. And a lot of people get confused with motivation and inspiration. But when you are clear about this, inspiration is, well, as I describe it, when we go and listen to what people would describe as a motivational speaker, actually pretty much all of them are more inspirational than motivation because they are telling us a story, aren't they? They're telling us a story of, in most cases, from adversity through to overcoming that adversity. And it inspires us. It inspires us to, say, if they could do it, so can we. But with regards to motivation, they can't really motivate us unless they know what motivates us. And I'm going to, in the third part of this masterclass, explain how we can identify, describe, measure, and maximize motivation for everyone. That's including you if you're the business owner, and then show you how you, if you're leading a team, can enhance and unlock the motivation in every one of your team so their performance is boosted. So that's a brief look into what motivation is. What I think will be useful also is to think about where does motivation come from. The thing to always remember with motivation is it's something that is changeable. It changes over time, and that's the reason being for these three elements, which I'm going to introduce now. So the first element is our past, and when I say our past is literally everything that's happened to us up until this point. So we go back to when we're born or when we can remember that far back. Anyway, so our personality is what is we can attribute to our past. That's what we've become from the experiences we've had and the influence we've had. That is our personality that we have to this point. So that's one element, which is of the three that contribute to what motivates us. The second element is our self and our self-esteem, our self-concept, I suppose you could say, of what it is that we are and what we want to achieve. And this is very much about the present time, about what we're trying to do, what we're trying to, our big goal that's going on in our life at the moment, and also what's happening to us, which is important. So as you see there, the self is very much about the present moment. So you can see that there's all the two elements are past and present. So you we not surprised to see that the third element is future based, and that's our beliefs about our future and what we want to achieve. So these three elements are always at play. So they're all influencing our motivations, and that's why motivation changes, because our past is always changing. Because our past is always chasing behind us. Our present circumstances, that's always changing, isn't it? It can be quite a dramatic change sometimes when we have to, for instance, deal with a pandemic, or it might be something more subtle where we're planning to get married or whatever it might be. So our present circumstances are always changing, dependent on the things that are being thrown at us or the decisions we're making. And then our future expectations, they can always change, because what we want in the future might be completely different to what we thought we wanted as time goes by. So it's a moving thing. So we've always got to remember that motivation is key, and it's changing. And if you're a business owner, particularly, think about what motivated you to start your business or join the business that you're running, and whether that's still the same now. Is it changed dramatically, or do you think it's fairly similar, or whatever? So have a think about that. So there's a little bit of an insight into what contributes to motivation and what drives that motivation. So, a question for you. What do we have when we are motivated? So I'm just going to break off there just a second, just to introduce a book I've written, which is this book. It so happens to be called Motivated, and where I've shared my journey with regards to when I was running a family retail business, and the ups and downs, the roller coaster of motivations I had during that time. I share a bit about my story, and I share a 7-step process which you can use. And you'll also see on the cover there. I talk about you, the business, the business, and the team, and they're the key elements. You've got to be motivated. You have to be the most motivated person, so you've got to understand your motivations. The next step is making sure that the role that you create in your business is going to motivate you long term. That's key. Long term's key as well, because we can do anything. Anything can motivate us short term, but when we talk about long term, we've got to really tap into those motivations that drive us and get us out of bed in the morning. And then when it comes to leading a team, we need to understand what motivation is and how we can motivate people, not with regards to carrot and sticks as the old model, is actually understanding the intrinsic motivations that bring people to work and how we can fulfill them and reward people in the right way. So that's just a bit of a quick interlude there with regards to what motivates you. So what do you think? If you're watching this, then feel free to put a comment in. What do you have when you are motivated? Well, you might be already alluded to the fact that I probably mentioned the word already, but what we have when we are motivated is energy. And energy is key, isn't it? And the title of this masterclass is about why managing energy is the key to key to high performance, and not managing time. In that most people are pretty poor at managing time, including me. I've got plenty of books on time management, which ironically I've never had time to read. So there we have it. So when we think about it, I'm not saying that managing our time is not, we shouldn't spend any time thinking about that, but actually when you think about energy, when we have high energy, then there's sometimes when we're in that high flow state where really we can do anything. And then on the reverse, when we've got low energy, we don't seem to be able to do much at all. We seem to struggle with everything, and it's almost like walking through treacle to get things done. So energy is key, and if we can manage it, then we can then perform better. And ultimately, that's what we should be focused on performing better as an individual, and then that has a knock-on effect if we can get the whole energy in the team raised to a point where everyone is coming to work, know why they come to work, and they're getting those things fulfilled. Okay, so there we are. So energy is key. Now, the reason why I'm doing this masterclass is because of this book. I came across it, and it reiterates what at what I believe, and you'll see the red writing underneath the sort of subheading from the power of full engagement is managing energy, not time, is the key to high performance and personal renewal, and that's what we talk about on this masterclass. And then going back quickly to my book, I just want to read you the first page of the introduction. And bear in mind, I wrote this book back in 2021. And I've only just come across the book I just mentioned by Jim Lowe and Tony Swans. But this is the reason why when I picked the book up, it so resonated with me, because this is the first paragraph in my book introduction. And this book is all about energy. To manage our energy levels, we need to know what gives us energy and what saps our energy. Like fuel in the car, motivation is the energy we need to keep going, which needs to be topped up with the right type that's not going to evaporate overnight. So that's why everything that we're talking about today resonates, and particularly with the concepts in this book. So let's ask you a question about, again, what do you do when you see the ominous low battery on your phone? And obviously this is what the obvious thing you do is you find the power cable and you plug it in, don't you? So it's simple, you know what to do. But the question is, how do you top up your own energy? And it's not as simple as you might think, actually, because there's lots of different types of energy, and I think we get a bit confused. Now, I've sort of alluded to the fact that motivation is energy, but there are other things that are at play here. So let's just explore that for a little while with regards to what we need energy for and how we recharge it. So types of energy recharge. So there is physical energy that we need to recharge. There is emotional energy. There is also mental energy, and then there is spiritual energy. So these four types of energy are, think of them as with regards to that sort of battery. When we've used them up, we need to recharge them, top them up to a point where they're useful to us again. And quite often we actually get these mixed up with regards to the type of recharge we need and the sort of energy we need. So let's just look at how we do that. So if we're going to recharge our physical energy, we need to think about the types of food we're eating, the exercise we're taking, and also, which I've not included there, is think about the amount of sleep we're getting. The emotional energy, how do we top that up? Well, it tends to be by doing things that are fun. So we take our mind off the things that are maybe causing us emotional strain. So fun, relaxations, do things that are going to take us to a different place to recharge that emotional energy that we need. Mental energy, well, that's very much about, I like to think about mental energy and mental health as a way of, we've got to keep it, we need to be physically fit, so we actually need to be mentally fit too. So the way we do that is we develop our character and become optimistic, and so we see things in a positive way, and things don't get us down so easily. So one way that we can look after our mental health. So it's one of those things that we need to work on. Character strengths are a key element to my coaching, and my clients are always thinking about the character strengths they need to be using at a particular time. And then finally, we can talk about or think about the spiritual energy that we need. And you'll notice there, when we talk about spiritual energy, we're not talking about religious energy. We're talking about the why, the reason we do things. And that links in with the motivational piece I've already explained what motivation is. It's the reason we do something. So if we're going to keep our spirits up at work, then we need to be in tune with our why and our reason that we do what we do and what gets us out of bed in the morning. So we're going to think about how we can how can we actually do that? How can we tap into the reason why we go to work? So to do that, first of all, we've got to think about what motivates us at work. What is it about your work that motivates you? Now, I'm quite clear about what motivates me at work. I know that I need to do something that is meaningful and purposeful. I need to do something that shows expertise and specialism. And I need to do something that's creative and solves problems. So I'm clear about those things. And when I'm getting those things fulfilled in my work, then I'm generally a happy boy. So think about that for a moment as to what motivates you, particularly about your work and what you do. And this is the key thing to think about when it comes to running a business. I see so many people not taking into account what motivates them, and they create the completely wrong role in their business for them. So if you're not feeling it for your business, then think about what it is that really gets you out of bed in the morning and whether those things are being fulfilled. So it comes up with a little bit of a problem here, because when we think about what we get from work, we need to actually have an ability to actually identify it. And so I'm going to introduce you here to Motivational Maps, which is the tool I use. And it brings in 9 reasons that we go to work. And this is the nine motivations to work, as according to Motivational Maps. And you'll notice that there are 3 relationship motivators, 3 achievement motivators, and 3 growth motivators. So let's just step through them briefly, just to describe what they are. There's the defender, which is the drive for stability and predictability. There's the friend, the drive for belonging and friendships and fulfilling relationships at work. And the star, and that's the recognition and social esteem, the drive for those things. So they're the 3 relationship motivators. Then there are the 3 achievement motivators. So the director is the drive for power and influence and control over people and resources. The builder and motivator is the drive for money and material satisfaction. And the expert motivation is the drive for knowledge and specialism and mastery. And then we have the 3 growth motivators. The creator, the creator is the motivation that drives for innovation, creativity, and new and creative potential. The spirit, the drive for freedom, is what drives the spirit motivator. Freedom, autonomy, making your own decisions. And then finally, by no means least, the searcher is the drive for meaning and making a difference, doing something that's worthwhile. So they're the 9 motivations, and we have all of these. And you're thinking, well, you might start thinking about which ones are most important now. So that's what we need to think about now by putting them in order. So the motivational map system is a 10-minute sort of diagnostic that takes you about 10 minutes to complete, and you get an output. It's a 15-page report, and you get this is part of the output, which is the graph, which is, you can see that it puts the output and the motivations in order. So on the left-hand side, you'll see the most important is on the left-hand side with the highest score. In this case, it's searcher. And then we have the least important, which is, again, quite an important insight for everybody. And you'll see that there's it goes down from left to right, from most important down to least important. So what we've got to do to maintain our energy is to focus on the ones that are most important to us. And in this instance, we've got 4 scores over 20. So scores over 20 are motivations that need to be met some way in our work. And so this person wants to do meaningful work, being the searcher. They want to be a specialist in what they do. They want to be well rewarded with the builder, and they want to have freedom, autonomy to do it the way they want to do and have control over the way they do things. What they also, the thing that we actually, what this person doesn't want particularly is they don't really want recognition. So they're not really seeking to get noticed. And so what's important about this is we've got to put it into context. So if this was, say, a business owner, and it probably was because it's probably one of my clients, the question I would be asking is, okay, how can you run a business if you're not getting any recognition and people aren't noticing you and seeing what you do, and you're not putting the information out there marketing wise? And so that would be the first thing that we would explore as to what they're doing with regards to doing something that's least important to them, so they pay the least attention to it. So are they paying any attention to it? So there we are. There's a really sort of quick look at how motivation has links into that energy piece. That's spiritual energy. If you'd like to know more about this, then I've written a book about it, as I've mentioned, and you can find that either from Amazon in a Kindle or in a book form. Sorry, I haven't got round to recording the audio version, but hopefully I'll get around to that soon. So there's the book you can read. What I'd also like to, before I go, just to share with you, and so that you can find out a bit more about what I do, is to show you my website. So this is the Reluctant Leader website, and you'll see, as I've got on the front page there, helping you and everyone you lead to be happier and more productive at work. That's my ethos, and that's what I work on. Because once everyone is happier, they tend to be more productive as well. And as you see there, the key to high performance is managing energy, not time. And on the front page, you'll see the 7 steps that I talk about in my book. There is a test if you're working in as a second generation family business, which I was in. So I know the stress levels can get quite high. So that's just 15 questions I've created around that, and you'll get a score of how stressed you are at the time. So take that. It only takes a couple of minutes if that interests you. There's the link to buy my book if you're interested. That's the masterclass you're watching. So there tends to be masterclasses that we run different times during the year. And this is the Motivator Business Club, where I put everything in there. It's a monthly subscription thing that you can join at any time, and you can either choose to pay monthly, or you can do the 6 for 5, which you get 6 months of the price of 5. So we'll just have a quick look at what that's all about. Let's go through to that page. All the details are here about how it works, and like I say, you can join at any time. Lots of information there. Here's what's included. There's some online courses and the motivational map I've just talked about. Talk about also, I think we need to think about our behavioural style, which is a colour profile report. The one-to-one coaching that I do, I have a Q&A, call me anytime policy. So if you're a client, then you can call me at any time to mull over things, or just to chat about something that might come in between our coaching sessions. Team motivational map if you're on the team package, and there's some course books that comes with the courses that are included that you'll get. And if we are working with your team, then there's some development courses as well for them to work through. A bit about me, and you'll see that there is some videos there I recorded about questions that came up about the club, which I've called Mythbusters. So no, it's not just another online course. It's not information overload either. Everything I do is grounded in research, and so those research has paid off, and so I know everything I work with is proven. So there's some videos to watch. There's how things work, and then finally you'll see down here, if you get this in the future, you might see some of these have changed. I wouldn't have thought they'd gone down. They'll probably go up, and you'll see there's 3 ways. There's the individual plus, or the team plus options, which if you're interested, you can click through to book a one-to-one session, 20-minute chat about your current challenges. So feel free to take advantage of that and have a chat with me directly if that's something you'd like to do. So that was a bit quicker than I managed. I really I was going to go through this content, but hopefully you got some value. If you watch this and catch this on my YouTube channels, then feel free to use the comments and get in touch for that chat if you are struggling, particularly with motivation, and that you need to boost that energy. And maybe you're spending too much time managing your time, when actually what you need to do is spend more time managing your energy and making sure those energy levels are high so that you're performing at your best. So thanks for listening. I hope you enjoyed it. And if there's anything I could do in the future, don't hesitate, get in touch. And until the next masterclass, I'll bid you farewell. Have a great day and see you next time.